An archer of gold. An eye to see experiences, heeds, and understands this cover of this family house. Inside this tent floor plan of this head in person from this beginning, this topmost rule, first possession, and inheritance, and by this, hand, thrust, deed, and handiwork made. 2. Physically observe from this lifted up sea. 4. Upheaval. Also like Abram, put into a mouth of foreigners, ones from another side, to pass over cross. As a staff with no chief goal, with no authority, control toward of no protection, as a yoke and or teaching, lead not to or of this chief. Also like do not, no, denied objectively, not good, not hew, or of hew, not inhabited. Not of this house, tent floor plan, inside this anointed hook to secure, and of this tent peg surrounded, stored inside this tent wall, also like to trust, rely, have confidence in, feel secure, to really behold in this existence, man too and or about this, that which one sees, watches, may have an eye on, to understand as cover, that which got divided, repeated, and sharpened from this head in person, from this beginning, this topmost rule, first possession, and inheritance, also like wealth, riches, not this, ox of, or at all this, chief, to look at, behold this breath, revelation in man, life of this family house, inside this tent floor plan, also like love, affection, friend, nor to at all take, inside as if anything to bring to this tent wall, blood, water from, of this unknown lifted up sea of might, this family house, tent floor plan, also like covet, take pleasure in, to delight in, praise, as if from this, palm of hand, allowed, a shield, pierced support, prop, hated, and a hand, with thorns of this staff to grab, a hold of, established to prevent, and turn this mouth, and from this word, blown, a blowing sword, and command, also like silver, money, price. This family house, tent floor plan of this staff, goal, and control toward protection, authority, and this bind, to lead, teach by this hand thrust, indeed to physically observe, also like without, not as long as, with control toward this staff, goal, protection, authority, leading, teaching, and water of this lifted up mighty sea, blood from this lifted up first man, from this head in person, topmost rule, first possession and inheritance, also like, if without, bitterness, discontent. This palm of hand, and a palm of hand, bent, curved, tamed, and got tamed, allowed for a shield, pierced support, prop hated, and a hand put through with thorns of this staff, to grab a hold of, established to prevent, and turn this mouth, and from this word, blown ing, a sword, command, also like silver, money, price. If ever to even try to do so could mean a bit. Divided from facing this front, word blown of this head in person, first man, topmost rule, first possession and inheritance. Also like to look fair, fairness, seemliness, goodliness, comely, and if as such a bit, divided from this sun, sun on this horizon, day line to gather to this tent door, pathway, entry hang down, divided to face this front, have ones, face this front, also like set apart, a set apart thing, dedicated to this hand, regard or treated by Ham. In this existence, breath of life. In of this, tent door, pathway, entry hung down, to move, to this head and person, from this beginning, topmost rule, first possession, and inheritance of this palm, also like way, road, manner, conduct, journey, divided from, and to face this front, toward this family, house inside this tent floor, plan to see, experience, watch, and heed. This cover, also like to have satisfaction, have fullness, have in excess, to sate, and look at this life, breath revealed, also like in front of one, right on, directly. Look and behold this revealed. No breath, breath of man, man in existence, no life, nor any strength, ultimately all of this chief power and arm thrust, to physically observe for this kingdom of life, that which whose light shines on, Yah given, in perpetuity of it, also like not, no, without, none, a non-entity, as a staff without a this chief, goal with no authority, control toward nothing of protection, as a yoke and or teaching, leading not to or of this chief, also like do not, no, denied objectively, not good, not Yah, or of Yah, not inhabited, as a hand of this arm, thrust deed to make and physically observe from this palm of hand, subdued, and allowed to tame with this staff to this goal, control toward authority, protection, leading, teaching, and bind. Also like to have ability, have power, can prevail, overcome, endure. Ultimately, to all of this palm of hand opened to tame toward inside this tent wall, also like strength, power, might, wealth, produce, ability, force, efficiency, to face this front, forward, and divided, pressed, repeated from this kingdom of Yu'ayal given life, that which Waiyo's light shines on. This arm thrust, deed, hands and handiwork to physically observe, also like to try to, double, second, do, again, or try to, change. Ultimately, and only of this, chief power and leader, tent door, and pathway lowered from, and of this Wai-Hu given kingdom of life, that which Wai-Hu's light shines on, sons, heir, this arm thrust, deed, to physically observe, also like Lord, Master, Owner, Wai-Ha, Controller, Ruler, Quarrel. This means with a picture of a door and a seed, representing an idea of life, a door of life. A judge means one who restores life. This goal of this one, that rules or judges, amounts to bringing a pleasant and righteous life to his people. This and of this arm, hand thrust, deed, made to physically observe. Look at and behold this revealed breath. In man, this breath of man in existence. Life, this tent peg, anointed hook to secure, nailed to add and join to life. Breath, also like ha. For eyes that see experience, watch, heed, and understand, so to understand this cover of this family house, inside this tent floor plan, this and by this pathway, tent door hung down, also like to work, serve, physically observe, divided, a division of this front to face frontward to this head and person from this beginning, this topmost rule, first possession and inheritance, this mark, sign, covenant, signature, identification of people, places, thing, and strength, also like to minister, do ministry, vessels in a tabernacle to attend. Of this chief, strength and power, ox, leader, heir, son of this kingdom of Yuash given life, that which Yu's light shines on, and to perpetuate it, or also like either, or if not, desire. If then, by this palm of hand, to subdue and hand thrust, deed to physically observe, also like for, if, when, surely, indeed. Look this life, breath revealed in man, this chief, strength and power, leader and ox to behold. Lo this breath, life, breath of man, revealed, this moving tent door, pathway lowered, also like one single, first alone unity, if ever, as if to ever, as if of any ox, not this chief, an ox, inside this tent wall, this head and person from this beginning, top man, topmost rule, first possession and inheritance, also like any other, another, different, teethed, eaten, not sharp, sharpened, bitten, changed, split from this kingdom of life, that which Waihua's light shines on, sprouting seed, heir, sons, chief, and ox, also like to hate, detest, have hostility toward, and if ever trying to, add if not this tent peg, anointed hook to secure, if then this, as if mankind away from this, mighty, lifted up, unknown sea, blood, and water, to chaos, tumult, upheaval, if not from, facing this front, pressed and sharpened by this, divided from this given kingdom of life, that which was light shines on, sprouting seed, heir, sons to continue, breath revealed life within existence, also like enmity, hate. This means like a thorn, hate, as in also that which causes one to turn away from another, change. This means to try to exchange one thing for another. And if so, to whatever hooked, if not this tent peg, anointed hook to secure to add, join things to this breath, life, if were for whatever point, not this only chief, an ox, inside this tent wall, head and person from this beginning, this top man and this topmost rule, first possession and inheritance, also like another, any different. Only this, chief power, leader, and ox. Behold this revealed breath in man, life, and all inside this family house, tent floor plan, also like love friends. Either to this chief in ox, tent peg, anointed hook to secure nail to add, and fixed, also like either this or otherwise. To look at this life and breath revealed in man, this chief, strength and power, leader and ox, lo. To behold this breath, life, and breath of man revealed. This moving tent door, pathway lowered, also like one, this single first alone unity. Inside this tent wall, fenced from weapons, separated in this harvest by plow, as food and made ready for and by this crown. Sun of this horizon, day line to gather in order to condense to this Father, also like to take hold of, strengthen, harden, prevailed, fastened upon. If not then, and as nailing this anointed hook to secure, this revealed breath in man, life, this life, breath revealed in man, of this chief, strength and power, leader and ox, behold, breath life, breath of man revealed. This moving tent door, pathway lowered, also like one, singleness, first alone, unity. And of this family house in tent floor plan, from inside cut off, from this feeding, food, harvest, crown, sickled, and overturned from this. Look at life revealed, also like despised, to hold in contempt, to disdain, despise. This means try to treat something as spoiled or no longer of value, spoil. This means trying to remove something that has value. A staff with no chief, goal with no authority, trying to control toward, whatever of no protection, as a yoke, and, or teaching, leading. This chief, also like do not, denied objectively, not good, not who, or of not inhabited, of dumb, deaf, still waiting to understand this hand of as a hand of this arm thrust indeed, to make physically observe, from this palm of hand subdued, allowing to tame, with a staff to this goal control toward authority, protection, leading, teaching and binding, also like to have ability, have power, to prevail, overcome, endure, of this arm and this hand thrust, deed, made to physically observe and behold this revealed breath. In man, breath of man, in existence, life. This tent peg, anointed hook to secure, nailed to add and join to life. Breath also like such eyes see, experience, watch and heed. To understand this cover of this family house inside this tent floor plan, this and by this pathway, tent door hung down, also like to work, serve, physically observe, as divided divisions of this front, to face frontward toward this, head and person from this beginning, topmost rule, first possession and inheritance, mark, sign, covenant, signature, identification of people, place, or thing, strength, also like to minister, ministry, vessels in a tabernacle to attend. If properly really connected to this tent peg, anointed hook to secure, add and fix, not of waters, chaos, tumult, upheaval of many people, blood. If ever, instead of this lifted up mighty unknown sea, tent peg, anointed hook to secure and continue, this air sons of life, that which Ahu shines light on, Yehu given kingdom to perpetuate, sprouting seed, also like, to, a multitude, abundance, wealth, from a crowd, large body, or of water, seen as a place of chaos due to storms, turbulence, etc., not or of this family house tent floor plan, on his side, desiring, waiting, on this trail with an eye to see, experiencing, watching to heed and understand cover, also like unjust gain plunder,